we'll move to today's session. Any pending questions from the previous session? Great. So we move to today's session then.
Sir, I have a question related to assignment.
Please tell me.
Sir, when I am measuring the leakage current, then I want the inputs to be stable. So I am applying 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So for different, it will be different leakage. But
Yes.
sir, at some points when I am noting the value, so the leakage current value is coming to be positive and then it is coming to be negative also. So is it related to the accuracy of the tool or the precision of the tool or what is it?
Yeah, it would also be related to where is the leakage happening from, whether it is happening from ground or it is happening from, what do we say, VDD.
And sir, from VDD, why does the current come negative?
So when the leakage is, or when the leakage is such that VDD is not supplying any current over there, but there is some current that is being sunk into the ground node, that is when the simulator would do that. So you don't need to worry too much about that aspect. You simply integrate and you go ahead.
Sir, actually, what I was able to notice is that when you note the current for
So,
the VDD.
Gagandeep, this is a discussion more about the assignment. We can take it up in the office hours or towards the end of the class, after the class is over. Is that okay? Because
Yes.
I thought that there was a question related to the previous session. So this is not that. So the class would get completely digressed because of a specific problem. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, let's take it up in a little while. Any questions from the previous class? Then we can take it up right away. Okay, so what do you mean by static power dissipation?
So when input is stable, nothing is changing, and that at that point of time there might be some leakage.
So static power is when there is no change in input, everything is stable. Even then, some power is getting consumed. See, in CMOS, we said that. So we will do it in much more detail later also. But in CMOS inverter, we saw that in a stable state, there is no on current, neither from the NMOS nor from the PMOS, because of the fact that the NMOS, either one of the NMOS or the PMOS will be on. Both will not be on in a stable state. During transition, something would happen, but otherwise in a stable state, only one of them would be on. So there is no direct VDD to ground path, and we do not expect any current to flow. But some current still flows, and that is called as static current or static power or leakage, different ways to call it.
So what do you mean by that no change in input? I mean, why would that condition occur? I mean,
So you tell me, I just transition from 0 to 1,
yes, sir.
and the next cycle will come after 2 nanoseconds.
Yes, sir.
So what happens in this duration?
Okay. So one of the inputs would be stable at least.
Yeah, we're just talking about an inverter. It only has one input. So the input is stable, no input is toggling, but even then some current will flow.
Okay,
In
so
VGT, the amount of that current will be much larger. In a CMOS, that current will be lesser, but the current will flow.
okay.
Right. So that is called as static current.
So, but the path would be there anytime the current, some current would be flowing because of that, whatever was stored in the capacitor. So that would flow. Then there's no change.
So let us say, for example, give me then. Let us say, for example, there is this inverter. Now, let us say this stores a VDD now. The input is 0. Where is the path? There is a path here, but then both the drain and source are on VDD, so the current VDS is 0, current is 0. There is no on current in the system as of now, isn't it so?
Okay. We are talking in terms of inverter only right now.
Yeah, the meeting is getting recorded.
Okay. No, sir. We are talking in terms of the inverter itself, right? The reference inverter. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Deepank.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask related to previous lecture. Sir, I did not get how are we reducing activity factor by uh, uh, putting our complex logic in the beginning, because my idea was that because the clock will enter the complex logic at the beginning itself, so most toggling would be faced by that
So we're not
complex.
reducing activity factor by putting the complex logic in the beginning, Deepank.
Okay.
We are simply reducing the overall area and capacitances by doing that.
So that is not related to activity factor at all.
No.
Okay. So I think okay. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So coming to static power, let us refresh about the 1 billion transistor chip that we were talking about, where we said that there were 1 billion transistors, of which 95% was memories and remaining was logic and so on. Remember that case that we studied for the dynamic power in the last session?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Divya?
Nothing, sir. You were asking them. I said yes.
Okay. Okay. So now we are just adding in some more details so that we can estimate the leakage of that chip also. We are saying that the normal VT, the leakage current in the normal VT device is 100 nanoampere per millimeter, and that of a high VT device is 10 nanoamperes per millimeter. And that HVT devices are used in all the memories, and 95% of logic gates are also high VT. There is some gate leakage, which is 5 nanoamperes per millimeter, and then junction leakage, which we say is negligible as of now, because we are not applying any body bias or anything like that. Okay. So just remember these things so that when we want to estimate the leakage at chip level, you will know where to and how to arrive at it. Is that okay? So we said that width of normal VT devices, 50 million devices are normal VT. Their length is 12 lambda. We know that lambda is 0.025 by lambda. And we just saw that what was the 0.54? Just give me a minute. Yeah, these are total devices. So 95% of devices were HVT. So 5% of devices are normal VT. So normal VT, the total width that you get is 0.75 into 10 raised to power 6 microns. Similarly, you calculate for high VT devices, 50 million logic devices, 12 lambda, 95% of logic devices are high VT. Then all the memory devices are high VT, and we multiply with the lambda factor. So we get the overall width for the HVT devices also. We've also been given the current per width for a HVT and a SVT device and a normal VT device, and we can simply estimate that. Why do you think we are divided by 2 over here?
Sir,
To get the average of high VT and normal VT.
No, we don't need to do average of high VT and normal VT. They are simply being added. This 2 is because of something else.
Sir, PMOS and NMOS will not have the same amount of leakage at same point of time in the stimuli.
So what we are saying is that in a CMOS logic, either PMOS is off or NMOS is off. So only one of them is leaking. The other one is not leaking at all because it is on.
So this doesn't make sense, sir. I mean,
in an inverter,
yes, sir.
the one that we just saw in the over there, when the input is 0 and the output is 1, which of the two devices is leaking? Are both of them leaking?
NMOS cannot leak, I think, suppose. No,
Why?
NMOS cannot leak.
Why will NMOS not leak?
So I mean, there is no path to ground. So where will the current go then? I mean,
So what does leakage mean?
when there is no action happening, then some current is flowing.
When a device is off,
Yes, no. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
when a device is off, so there is no evident path for on current.
Yeah, but
So
still,
even then some current is flowing. That is why it is called as off current.
yeah. Yes.
So which of the two devices is off over here?
NMOS.
So in fact, NMOS is leaking
Yes.
and the PMOS is not leaking.
So, but PMOS also there is no current flowing after it has reached that.
Yeah, but it is on. You will
Okay.
not call that as leakage current.
Okay. Okay.
है ना? So in a static condition, the PMOS will not govern the amount of current that is flowing through it. The NMOS will govern the amount of current that will flow through the PMOS also. Is it not? Applying simple Kirchhoff's law.
I mean, sir, you're saying that when this NMOS is off, so though there is no on current path, but still there is some path that will be the cause of leaking. And that will provide the whole connection for the current from PMOS also to sync through that
Yeah.
NMOS
See,
path.
PMOS is on. PMOS wants to sink this kind of current, huge
Yes,
current.
Yes, sir.
NMOS is off.
Yes.
NMOS says no current can flow from me. I will flow only very small current from myself. I'm not able to draw it on the screen. So that is what the NMOS would say.
Yes, sir.
So what happens?
But due to some junction getting overlap or some kind of overlap, there is some path provided by NMOS.
There is some path, but let us apply Kirchhoff's law over there.
Yes. Yes.
What happens?
The
overall current that can flow from the PMOS is limited to the current that will flow from the NMOS.
Yes, sir.
PMOS cannot supply more current than the NMOS can sink. No?
Yes, sir. But here we would be considering the current from the capacitor also right now, or just the PMOS.
See, the capacitor is charged at VDD.
Yes, sir.
So if the PMOS has to, so if the capacitor cannot source current from itself, can it?
No, sir.
So if NMOS is to sink any current and PMOS is ready to give so much of current, will the current come from the capacitor or from the PMOS?
Okay, yeah. PMOS will not allow it, sir, because it will maintain the voltage. Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir.
Faisal?
So, just for the clarification, when we are talking about the high VT devices, those are the memory devices, right? Like
no, logic devices can also be high VT.
So how we are distinguishing between, like, 95% will be high VTs and the other 5% is, why is that, sir?
That is a design of our chip.
Okay. And okay, understood. And one more thing, sir. I'm quite a bit confused between gate leakage and junction leakage. Like in junction.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
Okay, fine.
We'll come to that in a little while.
Okay. Thank you.
So यहाँ तक अभी clear है that we have these many devices, and these devices. Just give me a moment. My system is slowing down a bit. Just give me a moment.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, so to find leakage current, sir, it's enough to find the current flowing through IDD at a point where my output is high.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Can you
So
please
yes, sir.
repeat?
Yes, sir. I'll repeat it again. So to find leakage current, it's and I can find the current. I'm like in EZ wave or something. I'll be getting the wave of the current. So I'll be just measuring this wave where my output is high. That gives me my leakage current. Is this statement correct, sir?
Why leakage will happen even when the output is low? Nahin?
Sir, now while you were discussing, sir, for the example of an inverter, sir. In that case, you are saying that will be when my VDD is high, I'll take KCL over there, and as my capacitance is fully charged and my PMOS is ready to supply much
No,
large
but if,
amount of. Sir, I'm sorry, sir, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I'm asking, will KCL apply only when the output is high, or will KCL apply even when output is low?
Even when output is low, sir.
So even when output is low, input is high, even then you will have the same method of calculating leakage. Just that when the output is low, it means input is high, it means PMOS is off. So PMOS will govern the leakage, not the NMOS. That's it.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir.
है ना?
But as PMOS drain is at higher voltage, sir. I mean, it's obviously at VDD and capacitor can't charge over VDD. So will there be any kind of current over there, sir? Because my output is at VDD. It might be at VDD or less than VDD, but
Yeah,
it
so
won't
if
go
VDS
beyond.
is zero, there is no on current. है ना?
Yes, sir. VDS of
The VDS for the PMOS is zero. No? That is what you're saying. Output is VDD and supply is also VDD.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Drain and source both are at zero. At
Yes, sir.
VDD.
VDD, yeah.
So there is no on current.
Yes.
But the
There will be
PMOS
an
is on. It can offer as much current as you want.
Okay. So this is a
But it will
generalized
offer
statement,
only
but
as
no
much current
current.
as NMOS sinks. It will not be able to sink any more current.
Okay, this is a generalized statement, but for inverter, inverter as when PMOS is on, NMOS will be off, so it will there won't arise a condition like that.
In any
And-
CMOS circuit, if the NMOS stack is off, the PMOS stack is on, or vice versa.
Yes, sir.
CMOS.
CMOS, yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
So sir, like, can I say that the source for though the path is provided by the off device, but the source ultimately is the voltage source basically for the leakage current also. Even it is drawn from the source itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
The current will always come from, any current would always come from supply, na?
Yeah. Yes.
Current comes from anywhere else. Even if it was a capacitor that was charged some time back, that current had also come from the supply.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, but
And
actually, yeah.
you will be able to link it to supply from somewhere. Anyways, you will be able to do that.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So my question was, why do we divide by 2? And the answer is, we divide by 2 because half the NMOSes, or we would say half the inputs will be zeros and half the inputs will be 1, considering random reset states. And therefore, we would say that either NMOS or PMOS is off and the other device is on. So we divide the total leakage by 2. Similarly, for the gate leakage, and then the total static power we find for that particular chip is 859 milliwatts. Again, everything back of the envelope, not a single simulation done.
Sir, can you please explain the by 2? I mean, what do you mean by?
So there are 1 billion devices.
Yes, sir.
In a CMOS circuit, half are NMOSes, half are PMOSes.
Yes, sir.
So either NMOS is on or PMOS is on.
Okay, so total current you are saying it would be when both are off. So that is the total thing.
How can in an inverter, how can both be off?
No, sir. I'm not saying it cannot be off, but you are taking the whole quantity is divided by 2, but But that whole quantity is basically when both will be off and we're dividing by 2 because at least one will be off.
No. So that quantity is off current of all the devices.
The
That is what
numerator
it-
part. The numerator part.
Yes.
Okay.
है ना?
Yeah.
The
Okay.
numerator part is off current of all the devices.
Yes.
But in reality, only half of them are off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it.
That is why we divide by 2.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So what are the leakage sources? That was the question. There were
So
already
one thing,
conjectures about junction leakage, gate leakage, and so on. So yes, Momin.
sir, just one thing in the current part, if we have, let's say, a 2-input NAND gate, then what will come in the denominator?
Even then it will be 2. In a 2-input NAND gate, one of the PMOSes will be off. Suppose 0, 1 is the state of inputs. So one of the PMOSes is off, the other one is on, and one of the NMOSes is off, and other one is on. Anytime half the PMOSes and half the NMOSes are on and off. Na?
Yes, sir.
है ना?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there was a question as to what causes this leakage and so on. So there are multiple sources of leakage. The first and most important source is subthreshold conduction. What does it mean? It says that transistors cannot abruptly turn off. So it does not happen that as soon as you go below VT, transistor is completely off. We saw that IDS VGS characteristics. याद है आपको हमने एक log curve बनाया था, where we had talked about subthreshold slope and so on. And this is log. And we had said that the slope has to be 70 millivolts per decade and so on. You remember that? 60 millivolt per decade and all that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Huh? So what
Yes,
we were
sir.
talking about there, we were saying that it is not that VT ke niche current goes to 0 at once. Okay, it reduces very, very significantly. There is a logarithmic exponential reduction in current as you go below VT, but current will still flow. And that is what is subthreshold conduction. Okay. Then another set of leakage is gate leakage, which is tunneling through ultra thin gate dielectrics. So even though we are now using high K metal gate dielectrics, which are physically not as thin as silicon dioxide based gates would be, but even then the effective thickness of the gate is the physical thickness of the gate is of the order of 2 nanometers or 3 nanometers, not more than that. In technologies where we do not have high K metal gates, in those technologies, because you want effective gate oxide thickness to be less than 20 angstroms, 10 angstroms, and so on, there is a lot of tunneling current that can flow, and that is what is gate leakage. And then we have junction leakage, which is that there are reverse biased PN junctions in our devices. So where all do we have reverse biased PN junctions?
That source to body and drain to body junctions.
Yes, source to body, drain to body, both are reverse biased junctions. And even though they are reverse biased junctions do also conduct some current. So that is where we have junction leakage. We will look into these in a little more detail and their impact on how we design. So subthreshold leakage, as we just saw, is the current that is still flowing after VT has, after your device has gone below VT. So this is what is defined as VT in this particular graph. And you see there is still some current flowing. Even at 0 value, there is some current flowing. So that is what we call as subthreshold current, IDS. In a very, very good transistor, this subthreshold slope would tend to 60 to 65 millivolts per decade. Okay. Why is this 60 millivolts per decade preferable over 100 millivolts per decade? We discussed this part also already.
It is the
So
best
current
limit for
leakage-
silicon.
I'm sorry.
Sir, it is the best that silicon can achieve, and also we
No,
do
no, my
not want
question
the-
is not why 60. I'm saying why lower is better.
Sir, decade, the ID will decrease per decade.
Below VT, you want current to decrease faster.
Because current will reduce much faster as you reduce the voltage. There will be a decade of current reduction within whatever number we have. If it's say 100 millivolts per decade, then it requires 100 millivolts lower than VT to get 1/10 the current. Whereas if it is 65 millivolts per decade, it means my device has turned off very quickly, and even 65 millivolts below VT, I will have 1/10 the current. Okay, Faisal?
So I have a doubt in the gate leakage only. Why?
Yeah, gate leakage we will come at. We'll come
So
at
why
gate.
we were using the term tunneling? Actually, that's my doubt only.
Yeah, we'll come to it.
Okay, okay, sir.
So, is subthreshold leakage clear?
Just a very small doubt. So like when we were discussing the MOS capacitance and then we moved to when we were discussing the first time you told us about sub-threshold, you were saying that one is that there is a depletion width under the gate, and then there is a depletion of the PN junctions of the source and drain. So somehow they get connected, and that is basically providing a path. So that is the path for that this sub-threshold leakage. I mean, I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah. So let us go a little beyond what we were talking on in the last class also, or possibly in the last office hours, where we were discussing about availability of electrons in the conduction band. So do we realize that at all times at room temperature, there will be some electrons in the conduction band?
Yes, sir.
So if there's an electric field applied somewhere, those electrons will flow.
Yes, sir.
That is leakage. Even if the device is off, there will be something in the conduction band.
Okay.
Hai na?
So, but I mean, I'm not able to clearly visualize the path exactly. Though the band theory tells us me that there will be leakage because any time point of time there will be conduction electrons, but that path I'm just clarifying about the path.
Yeah, subthreshold means source to drain path.
Okay, but that path is provided by the depletion connections. I mean,
No, not exactly. So depletion, definitely. Depletion region is so what is the difference between a depletion region and a regular substrate?
so I mean, depletion means that what the nature of that substrate was, you have devoid the excess carriers from that region, basically.
So in depletion region, all the excess carriers have been depleted.
Yes, sir.
So if you inject some electrons from one side, because there are no other carriers and there's an electric field across the depletion region, these electrons will move very quickly across the depletion region. That is one aspect. But there may not be a complete depletion region also formed there.
Okay.
Okay. So probably when we go into an accumulation mode, then we can say that there is a different kind of a current flowing, but depletion region ho sakta na bhi ho, and even then current would flow.
Okay. So because like I am able to visualize depletion region as a like very, very high resistance kind of region. I mean, its resistance are too much like greater. So that may be the limiting factor.
I can't comment.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir,
So yes.
yeah, in the first formula, can you repeat the terms in the exponential because I mean it's a little blurry.
The terms in the exponential are VGS minus VT naught minus eta VDS minus K gamma VSD. So you have all these things in the book available. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to ask you these formulae in the exams or any, and you will not be asked these formulae even in the in the interviews. Don't worry about that.
And so what's the difference between VT and VT naught?
Okay, so V capital T is the KT by Q component.
Oh, okay, right. So VT naught is just a subthreshold voltage.
VT naught is the threshold voltage at 0 VDS. Okay. So again, there is some issue. So we are saying that there is a subthreshold current that is flowing, and that subthreshold current is dependent on VT, threshold voltage. That is also, if the threshold voltage is lower, the subthreshold current will be higher. We are also saying that this subthreshold current is also dependent on the relationship between source and body, the body bias voltage that has been applied. We're also saying that the subthreshold voltage, this subthreshold current is also dependent on temperature by the virtue of this component KT by Q. As temperature increases, KT by Q also increases. So we're also saying that this subthreshold current is dependent on temperature. So when we say that the VT of the device has changed, what has happened is that if you, for example, you change VT from 0.4 to 0.1, the same curve, when it is shifted to the left, would intersect the VDD or the gate input Vin equal to 0 axis at a different place. And therefore, you can have multiple decades of difference between a high VT, the leakage of a high VT device, and the off current of a low VT device. So this is just an exemplification that you reduced in 65 nanometers, as you reduce VT by 100 millivolts, you increase the off current by a decade, because we assume that the subthreshold slope is 100 millivolts per decade. Okay. Now we come to some other effects which are slightly nuanced but are important. So one effect is drain-induced barrier lowering. What does this mean? This means that when I apply, when I change, so see, typically the leakage phenomena is dependent on gate pe kya voltage hai, what is the voltage at gate, and when it is off, even then some current is flowing from source to drain. Some electron flow is happening from source to drain. So that is your typical leakage definition. However, what happens? There is a voltage on drain and source also that is applied. And we see that there is a dependence of on current and off current, on current obviously, but also off current on leakage at VDD equal to 0. This happens because as you increase the drain voltage, the electric field contours change in such a way that in a long channel device, why is this happening today? Just give me a moment. So first tell me, you understand the difference between a long channel device and a short channel device? No.
Yes, sir.
So what is the difference?
Sir, we reach voltage, velocity saturation more quickly in short channel devices. So you have lower current, in saturation.
So, okay. So as the technology scaling happens, as you use shorter lengths, what starts to happen is that your device behaves differently than the standard, set of equations that we studied till now. Okay, this deviation in behavior is referred to as short channel effects. Okay, and why do these effects happen? We will look at it in this explanation that I'm just about to start with you. So let us say this is a big long channel device. And over here, I have a short channel device. Okay. Now, in a long channel device, let us say VD is 1 or 2 volts and VS is 0. So what happens? There is this barrier between drain and source. So there is a depletion width over here. There's a depletion width over here. And in between, there is a barrier. If I try to draw that barrier would look like this. So what is happening? This 2 volts that I had over here is dropping across the channel. So as I move from drain side to source side, this barrier is increasing. If I have a higher voltage over here, currents would be, electrons will be attracted over here. Now, in a long channel device, this barrier, so electrons have to jump from source into this region. So this barrier remains high. However, in a short channel device, what happens is that as drain tends to come closer, we see that the barrier reduces. When this barrier reduces, what happens? More electrons can now flow. So for a short channel device, let us look at it in a separate graph. For a short channel device, the drain and source are closer, and the barrier over here reduces than this value. So electrons can now more easily jump and reach the drain. This is called as drain-induced barrier lowering. This happens because over here we saw that depletion regions were far apart. Whereas in short channel devices, depletion regions actually start to come very close to each other. As they start to come close to each other, the barrier starts to reduce. Questions?
Sir, what is this? So is this some energy barrier or some physical barrier due to
Yeah,
depletion?
this is the energy, this is the conduction band that I have shown.
So here we assume that the depletion of drain and the source in long channel have reached their maximum depth, even if how much ever the VD is raised in long channel.
So the source and drain, this junction, this is the junction property. This is not, we're talking about the gate over here.
No, sir, I am talking about, yeah, I am talking about this junction only.
Yeah, the junction to join form hoga, there will be some depletion with form, and then we have this voltage applied, due to which this depletion would have changed already. Yes, we're talking about a static condition.
Okay, okay, so we are not in. Okay, I thought that if we increase VD, maybe we can achieve DIBL in long channel also.
No.
No, never. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir. So this condition which we are speaking right now is in the is during my transistor is off, right, sir?
Yes.
So, sir, if my transistor is off, then obviously my depletion region would be above because there is no inversion layer over there. I didn't understand why this depletion region moved a bit up.
Depletion region. There is no depletion region also here. Did I show a depletion region there?
No, but okay, sorry. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Sir,
you
so
said
where
that
is this depletion region we are getting from, sir, exactly? Is it due to drain and source?
Yeah, that is the PN junction.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Are we
so you
saying
said that this is the energy conduction band diagram, but how is this a conduction band diagram? It looks like some physical structure.
So let me, if I simply move this, just give me a minute. Yeah. इसको हटा देते हैं. And so are you able to see this now?
Yes, sir.
Let me also put this here. No. Hello. Yeah. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
That is what I'm saying. That's it. Because it's 2 volts over here, the overall energy is lower over here, and because it's high over there, this in fact the source would be since sources are 0, this energy would be appearing higher, but there is this barrier, and this VD over here, the change in depletion width that it causes does not impact anything on the barrier on the source side. Whereas when you apply a high VD over here, it causes a change in depletion width in such a manner that the source also starts to get impacted. And therefore the barrier reduces.
Sir, why did the VD become high, sir?
Because you charge the capacitor, na? In an inverter, you charge the capacitor to VDD.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you change the VDD, na? You change the VD, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
even when the VGS was less than VT, but still that there would be a depletion under the gate also, na? So, but we have not considered that in this.
There would be a depletion under the gate at all times.
There is some VGS. I mean, there will be some kind of
yeah, there would be some depletion, but so there would be a point where there would be no depletion also. So we are not really talking about whether there's a depletion there or not. What we are saying is that the drain voltage and the impact of drain voltage on the depletion layer starts to impact the barrier on the source side also.
So, sir, it's like in short, you're saying that when in the short channel devices, when there is a change in the voltage on the VD, so that changes the depletion at the drain, but that also in effect changes at the source. So
it changes the barrier at the source, and therefore leakage current changes, and that is what is called as drain-induced barrier lowering.
Okay. Okay.
So higher drain voltage causes current to increase. And that is what you are seeing in this red region over here.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, so now as someone already asked, so we were speaking about NMOS previously, and my NMOS will be off when my input will be 0.
Yeah.
Right, sir. So input is nothing but we are giving it to gate. So I don't see any kind of depletion region forming over there because my gate voltage is 0.
But the voltage that I have applied at gate is 0, but the doping that I could have done on the gate or the metal that I would have used for the gate can still pin it in such a value that there could be a depletion region.
Might
है ना?
be, sir. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can study. So, bhai sahab, this is all SSD. You can read that there, and you will find out. Okay. So now that was DIBL. Then there is another effect which is called as body effect, where we say that as you change the voltage of the body, you will see that the VT would change. And as VT changes, you will also observe that leakage would change. Okay. So when we apply any body bias, there is an expected impact on leakage. Body bias, or even when we do not apply body bias, the very fact that my source and drain, now let us talk of it in terms of the stack of an NMOS, of a NAND gate. Now that this particular device, look at this, its body terminal is at ground. Hai? But what is the value of the source terminal? If this device is off, what is the value on the source?
Some finite value above ground.
The value on the source could be VDD also. If my if A is on, if A is 1 and B is 0, then what happens? This starts to charge this node. So this internal node could be VDD also. But if A is also off, A is also 0, then this internal node could be anything. Need not necessarily be VDD, but it could be some floating number. Are you able to see this?
So when A is when it will be VDD, but otherwise we cannot clearly say what it will be. Yeah,
some value Vx would be there. What that Vx will be, we can again apply Kirchhoff's current law and voltage law on the on the stack of NMOSes, considering their off resistances, everything. We can find that value of Vx, but so we can find that out. But we say that it is not VDD, it is somewhere intermediate. Exact value we do not know. Huh? So what happens? There is a voltage between source and body that is effectively getting applied. Huh? And that is what we call as body effect. It leads to increasing leads to increasing in VT and therefore reduction in leakage. It is also called as stack effect. Okay. So what does this mean? What does this entail for us? Yeah, this is again got stuck.
Sir, could you please say what is stack effect again, sir? I got disconnected, sir. Sorry.
Okay. So when one of the inputs is off, let us say B input is off.
Yes,
when the
sir.
B input is off, A input is on, we know that the voltage at the intermediate node is VDD.
Yes, sir.
When A is also off, that is A is also 0, then there will be some value at this particular node, intermediate node.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Whatever it is, one thing is clear, that there is a supply or there is a VSB that this device will experience, because body is definitely at 0.
Yes, sir.
And we are saying there's some voltage at the source.
Yes, sir.
So we will have a change in VT of the device. The VT of the device would increase. And what do we observe? We observe a reduction in leakage. This reduction in leakage is called as stack effect.
Sir, how did the leakage reduce, sir?
If VT increases, what happens?
Okay, sir. Forgot. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So that being said, what else do we say? We say that what we do observe is that in a NAND gate, then as you change your inputs, see, the stack effect will happen differently when the inputs are 1, 0 versus when they are 0, 0. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
So with that body effect happening differently over there, we would actually observe that the leakage through a stack of 2 or 3 devices can actually reduce by orders of magnitude. For example, if all the inputs in the NMOS stack are 0, then the subthreshold leakage is 0.4. But when all of them are 1, then essentially, let us not say all of them are 1, let us say 1, 1, 0, then the subthreshold leakage through the NMOS side is 5.6. When all of them are 1, then the PMOSs are leaking. Then the entirely different leakage mechanism has come into picture. But until here, we are looking at the effect of body terminal only, like the body effect only. Over here, there is no body effect. But over here, there is a full body effect coming into picture, both on Vx and on Vz.
So why would there be leakage when A and B are 1 and C is 0? Because the intermediate node will be connected to ground, and so will the body.
Yeah, but leakage will happen from Y to Vz, na?
Yes, sir. So, but SB is 0, so VT will be.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
so in that
Okay,
case, there is no stack effect. See, did we take any stack effect there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There is.
That is what we are saying.
Okay.
That is exactly what we are saying, that if, so depending on which terminals are 0, which ones are 1, we will have stack effect or not, no stack effect.
Okay, sir.
है ना? That is exactly what we are saying.
Yes, sir.
So this is what you are also observing in your simulations. Am I right?
So when it is 1, 0, 0, then there is no stack effect it is showing. Okay, no.
There's a stack effect on VZ.
Okay.
है ना?
Sir?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, how are we supposed to look into this specific term? I'm like, I substrate or I gate or I total. How am I supposed to look into that leakage current, sir? Exactly. In
Components of leakage, you can measure the current at the gate terminal. It will give you the gate leakage. You can measure the current at the drain terminal. It will give you the drain leakage, subthreshold leakage.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
है ना? You just probe and measure.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you.
And do you see why gate leakage is changing so significantly? When is gate leakage happening?
All inputs are high, sir.
So gate leakage is happening in all those situations where the gate input is high and these inputs are 0. So when all these are 1, A, B, C, all are 1, then it is 0 at all the places. So there is highest gate leakage. When all inputs are 0, there is no gate leakage. Huh?
So what is the second column actually? So what is written in the what is the heading, sir? Can you just, it is blurry.
This is I sub, this
Okay.
is I gate. Okay.
So sir, like we basically see the stack effect for every different node, and wherever we will see that the VSB is kind of greater than 0, that will basically for that particular device, that subthreshold will reduce.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this is, so you will not really do it for every gate and everything, but yes, to do an analysis you should be able to do it, for example, for a simple NOR gate also. How do you expect the leakage of a NOR gate to change in different cases? Okay, so depending on your input combination, the gate leakage would change.
So, but how do I say that? How do I conclude? I mean, what reason I will give for change in gate leakage?
वही तो बताया ना, if there is a voltage at gate and there is a voltage on the source or drain, due to which, let us say, just give me a minute. So there is this so what is happening, इसको भी अलग कर देते हैं, just give me a minute. So what we are saying, that if the voltage over here is very different from the voltage over here, then there will be direct leakage from gate to drain and source, let us say. Okay, so what happens, the voltage on the source and drain is also reflected across the channel region, the body, the transistor region, and tunneling would happen. Let us say this is 1.2 volts and this is 0. So the channel region is also all at 0. So 1.2 volts across a very thin gate oxide, let us say 1.2 nanometers or 12 angstroms. 12 angstrom device, 1.2 volts across it, there is bound to be gate leakage.
Okay, so
tunneling happens. Tunneling means electrons from one side of the dielectric. So what is this? Let us say this is the gate dielectric. This is and these are your source and drain region. This is gate and this is your source / drain region. So what happens? The electrons simply tunnel. Despite there being a barrier, they don't really climb the barrier. They simply tunnel by the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. And you have some current flowing. Okay, and that is why gate leakage would change when you apply depending on inputs.
Sir, okay. Is it only with drain and source, or is it also with bodies tunneling?
Body also. Okay. But that will rush into those electrons that will enter into the body will rush into the source and drain region. So it will be visible as source and drain thing only. Faisal?
So I am not able to get the stack when the stack effect is getting 0. Like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this particular thing, let us say, so let us look at it over here. What are we saying? We are saying that when inputs are 1 0 0, let us say fifth row. So A is 1.
Yes, sir.
A is 1 means Vx is equal to 0.
Yes, sir.
Now what happens to Vz?
Vz can't be 0 because
Vz can't be 0. So there will be some stack effect.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Now let us look at the 101 case. C is 1 and A is 1. Since C is 1, across the NMOS, VDD will get transmitted to Vz. It becomes VDD minus Vt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And since A is 1, therefore Vx is equal to 0. We're not talking about stack effect anywhere.
Okay. Okay.
Because there is a deterministic voltage. We know what it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stack effect, we don't know the voltage.
We can find out, but अभी के लिए we just
हाँ,
simply
हाँ.
saying there's a stack effect.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank
So,
you.
but then why you have written the 0 over there? I mean, it should stack effect is there. Right? Okay, VZ is there. Okay, fine.
I'm sorry. I did not get your question, Raghav.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, in the case of 0, 1, 1, we okay, we are getting BDD minus VT. Okay, right. So there is no stack effect, right?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So
what does this intermediate mean? I mean, what does intermediate is reflecting? This.
you tell me, and just analyze it yourself and tell me.
Yeah.
We are saying A is 0, B is 1, C is 0. So VDD minus VT cannot come to either Vx or Vz.
Yes, but Vx
There
and
is
Vz
some
are
voltage.
same.
There's
Yes,
some
sir.
voltage which would appear at both Vx and Vz, which is also again different from the stack effect as we are talking about it. It could be similar, but because there is some on resistance of N2 which also comes into picture now, you cannot really say that stack effect wali voltage aa jayegi.
Okay, I mean it is not neither
Not only
stack.
talking about off resistances over here now. There is an on resistance also that has come into picture.
Okay, so it is neither stack or neither VDD minus VT. So it's okay. Okay.
So,
Okay.
and these gate leakage currents, this 6.3, 12.6, and 18.9, they are exact, I mean, multiples of 6.3. So does this mean that we can, depending on the state, I mean, depending on the type of input, we can determine some nodes, count some nodes that that are on or have some voltage, and then we can determine the exact multiplication factor for the.
That was what we were look also in a way looking at now. If this many gates are 1 and there is VDD, like look at case 011. What is happening there? In the case of 011, my Vx and Vz are both as VDD minus VT. Even for the devices where the gate is at 1, the differential across the gate is just VT. So there is no tunneling that will happen. But when the differential across the gate is full VDD, that is when tunneling happens. So as soon as you put, for example, Vx equal to 0, you see currents are in the range of 6.3 nanoamperes.
Okay, sir.
As it became 0 for both Vx and Vz, current increased further.
Yes, sir.
And then in the last one, it's the PMOS leakage current that is coming into picture.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I will have to reset it once again. Just give me a moment.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, I don't know if this is a basic question or something, but sir, the NMOS which is present in the center, sir, I'm between two PMOSs and one NMOS. For suppose we are considering a NAND game. So in that, sir, could you please explain why we are connecting our body to ground, sir?
Why we are connecting our body to ground? You tell
Why
me.
not to source directly?
You tell me. What is the physical structure of the device?
Physical structure. Yes, sir. For
If you
NMOS,
have
there
to
will
connect
be
the body to source somewhere, let us say VX somewhere, and to ground elsewhere, what do you need? Can you have the same PWEL in which the two devices can be made?
people.
Finally you're making these devices in PWELs, no? NMOSes and
Yes, sir.
PWELs.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
can you make them in the same PWEL? If you have to keep different substrate voltages, can the PWEL be same?
So,
Or let us put it differently. If the PWEL is same, can there be different voltages on the body?
no, there can't be, sir. Yeah.
Then why are you asking this question?
Sir, but okay.
Okay.
So we just want to
we
maintain a
have,
voltage.
why did we cover the layout part before this part? So that you understand that something is not possible in terms of a layout. Hypothetically, in a simulation, you can put whatever value on your body. But then if you have to design the layout of that and you design it the way we do, then the body terminals will all be actually shorted, is it not?
Yes,
You
sir.
do not
Okay.
have different bodies in which we will lay out those devices.
Okay, okay, sir. Understood. Yes, sir.
Hai na?
Yes, sir.
So from what we have seen till now, if we want to reduce leakage, what do? We increase the VT of devices. High VT devices, we say, would have lesser leakage. We use stacks and we decrease VB, because we saw that in a stack effect, there is some or some source bias that is happening, which is leading to reduction in leakage. And we do that in terms of body biasing also. We say, let us apply reverse body bias in sleep mode. Sleep means in inactive modes, and forward body bias in active modes. Okay. So last time there was this question, I think, in the office hours as to what is the difference between clock gating or power gating, clock gating and sleep. So for example, we could say that sleep mode involves much more than just enable signal on the clock gating path. Okay. So gate leakage, another slide just to give you an estimate of how the gate leakage changes. So when the physical gate oxide thickness was 19 angstroms, and we were operating at a VDD in the range of 1.8 volts, we had a gate leakage in the order of 10 raised to power minus 4 or something. Okay, not really significant. Huh? As we came to more finer, advanced geometries, then leakage started to become important. And as it is also said that in 65 nanometers and lower technologies, where the silicon dioxide gate is used, the TOX is actually less than 1 nanometer. And gate leakage, you will notice, increases very significantly. It becomes a very significant part of overall leakage, especially at room temperature. See, subthreshold leakage, we already observed, is dependent on temperature. So at room temperature, gate leakage becomes a very significant component. And therefore, we see that in advanced technologies, gate leakage is something that we are worried about. In the previous slide, we also saw the stack effect, and we saw that gate leakage over there is much very predominant. It was reasonably high component of the total leakage of that particular gate, depending on the input combination. You remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yes.
You said that to decrease the leakage, we can decrease the body bias basically. So, but like when we are seeing the stack effect, when we are seeing the stack thing, so we know that each of my basically NMOS is in different P wells right now.
It's
So,
in same P well.
yes, sir.
All the NMOSes are in the same P well.
Okay.
All the NMOSes are in the same P well, so their body is at ground, but their source is at Vx or Vz.
Okay.
So effectively, those transistors are in reverse bias because source voltage is higher than the body terminal voltage.
Okay. So, but
Sir?
like how we are connecting the different cables, I mean, how we would be connecting the different cables of like our NMOSes, because
So
we would
just
have
इस photo में ही देखो. If I make any more devices in the same P well, P substrate region, it is the common P substrate region, is it not? They're naturally connected.
Okay, sorry, sir. So actually, I was asking about the for the N well kind of thing. Like I was thinking about
Even N wells, if you're biasing all the N wells to the same value, and all N wells are then connected.
Okay.
है ना?
Sir?
Yes, Madhur?
So this body bias some place to our advantage when we talk about leakage, but wouldn't it create non-uniform currents, and that will lead to some unexpected behavior of the device?
दोबारा से बोलो.
So because substrate is not directly connected to the source, then this means that if I stack my transistors, then they will all have different VTs at different point of times, at different point of operation. So wouldn't that change the current through each of those devices? And
Yeah. वही तो हमने दिखाया ना. In the stack effect, the leakage changes, so the current through the devices is changing.
so now the current is not uniform, like for modeling.
But KCL will still be followed, na Madhur?
Yes, sir. It will be followed.
So whichever is the most resistive device, whichever can sink the lowest current, that will define the total current in the system.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, sir.
Don't assume there is any current accumulation anywhere. KCL will still be followed.
Yes, sir. There is no accumulation, but as you said that the device that can sink lowest current will now be the limiting factor. Now, since the top stacks will, as we stack transistors, the top above transistors will become bad sinks. So, wouldn't that change my delays and all
So
those?
when we will move to the combinational logic design, we will see that there is a way to design around the delays due to stacks. We'll see that. That is called tapered design.
Okay.
Okay. It will impact. Yes, for sure it will impact. But there is a way to handle it. We will handle it.
Okay,
sir.
Yes,
Sir,
Vaishnav?
for all NMOSes, sir, I understood that there is a common P substrate. That's the reason why we are grounding all the bodies to ground. Sir, but why is the Cadence giving us an option to connect the body to somewhere, sir, for an NMOS to be specific? Okay, I do understand that for PMOS we have that, but for NMOS, sir, why does the Cadence even give an option? Why can't it directly ground all the ground all the bodies of NMOS? Because
there is a possibility in the technology to have what is called as buried N well or deep N well. That
yes,
deep
sir.
N well is used to separate P wells.
Yes, sir.
And when you can separate those P wells by using that buried N well, then what happens? You can actually
then
bias
you can give
your
a body. Yes, sir.
also separately. So for RF circuits or for some specific designs, designers may want to give that kind of area, and therefore technology has to give you an option to connect the body terminal to different levels.
Okay, sir.
As a designer, you have all the flexibility.
But the device which I select is NSVT-LP or PSVT-LP in Cadence, for suppose. So
For
in
RF
that,
designs also the same devices will be used, Vaishnav.
okay, so
The design
okay, sir.
methodology is different.
So there would be an option where I could enable a deep envel.
Yes, you will have to draw it. You'll have to draw it on the in the layout,
Layout.
and
Okay,
then
okay.
your PLs will be separated.
Okay, 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 sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Raghav, you had a question?
So yes, sir. I mean, why would I be needing to like separate the P wells? I mean, actually, the whole point was that only, na, right? Because by doing one, we were like.
No, suppose you do not want the stack effect. As Madhur was saying, that the performance would change. ऐसा हो सकता है ना?
So like as I could understand that the stack effect was coming into play because of our design only, because we had designing the NAND gate such that like they will be
So
CMOS
because of, so what happened because of that? Vx became higher than substrate voltage.
Yes, sir.
That is the reason why your leakage reduced, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Now you do not want VT to change. What will you do? You will need to connect the substrate also to Vx.
Yes.
So then you will need deep envel.
So I can do that in every P well we can connect to ground and different.
It's a huge area penalty. Huge.
Okay, yeah.
So you do not do it for digital circuits.
Okay.
This is, if done, it is only done for analog RF circuits, not for digital circuits at all. It's a huge area penalty. Okay.
So sir,
But
like,
Cadence would always give you option to have that body terminal, and you may also want at some time to connect the body terminal. As a designer, you should have all the flexibility.
okay, so like for example, in the digital circuit, I would by default be observing this stack effect. I would get by the virtue of my design only, because I'm designed like they would be PMOS SCV or NMOS and PMOS. So sir, like then why basically do I have to then why should I basically select the low VT devices? Because
you want speed.
yes, sir. I mean, because static effect, because due to stack effect, I am getting the kind of the reduction in leakage. So why should I go? Because early in the slide you were saying that 95 are basically high VT devices, but for the digital circuit, I can go for the low VT then.
Yeah, so it means that you will have to use then more transistors if you do not go to high VT. You only use stacking to reduce leakage, then you will not be able. So for even an inverter, you will do stack of 2 NMOSs and stack of 2 PMOSs to reduce leakage.
Yeah, yes, sir.
You waste area.
Okay.
Instead, you do it like HVT devices.
Okay, actually, I'm considering only the static CMOS implementation. That's why maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So let's quickly look at junction leakage. Junction leakage has 3 components. Basic, ordinary diode leakage, because there are diodes everywhere. Then band-to-band tunneling. What happens in band-to-band tunneling? So this is the diode leakage thing, where since there is a source and drain region and there is a depletion region there is some diode current that will flow. Reverse bias PN junctions will have some leakage. Then we're talking about band-to-band tunneling. What is this? Let us say that I apply, so we're talking about halo doping and all those things over here. Let us say that I have applied reverse body bias on my body so that I reduce leakage. What happens? The conduction band of one side starts to become aligned with the valence band of the other side. Okay. And if the depletion width is small enough, then electrons will simply tunnel from the valence band on one side to the conduction band on the other. That is called band-to-band tunneling.
Sir, why are this getting aligned, sir?
Aligned means, so initially they were like this. You applied reverse body bias initially they were like this. Then you applied reverse body bias and they went low. So now electrons will directly move from here to here. From here to here. Because you applied a reverse body bias, that is where it can happen. You expected that by applying reverse body bias, I will remove the subthreshold leakage, which you will. You will definitely reduce subthreshold leakage, but you will introduce band-to-band tunneling. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Then there is also something called as gate-induced drain leakage. What does this mean? This means that due to some, so let us say there is this device. Let us say there is this device on the drain side. Let us go to whiteboard. So what happens is there is slight overlap between source drain and gate regions. So when you apply some voltage on the gate, there is some change in potential, the depletion region over here in this region, such that there is higher leakage in the drain. Why are we only talking about the drain? Because drain is at a higher voltage. Source and body are typically connected, shorted, but drain and body are at different potentials. So because of the electrostatic contours changing shape near the drain region, when you apply gate voltage, you see that the drain leakage increases, and that is reflected by this curve there. That is reflected by this red shaded region in the curve there. Okay, this is called as gate-induced drain leakage. So we've looked at different kinds of leakages till now. Now, if I say that I want to, how do I put it? If I say that I want to now reduce overall leakage in the system, what all levers do you think we have? Hello?
So stack effect.
Huh?
Can you stack effect? Basically stacking.
Okay, you can stack.
The body effect.
Due to which the body effect will come. Okay, what else?
So I mean, we can connect the body to different voltages if it is possible.
We can connect the body to
different voltages if possible.
For the PMOSes, it may be possible by, again, losing a lot of area. NMOSes, you will need to lose a lot more area to be able to do that. But let us say we still are able to create some voltage islands where we say that substrate voltages for inactive islands, you would want to keep at a different level so that leakage reduces. So that is body biasing across
a cluster.
That is body biasing across different circuit regions. Huh?
Yes.
Okay. What else can you do?
Maybe try thicker oxides. Maybe thicker oxides.
Thicker oxides. Okay, but thicker oxides, you will see that it will lead to change in speed. The speed would degrade.
Sir, long channel devices and high K dielectrics.
Yes, long channel devices, high K dielectrics, yes, so that gate leakage reduces. But a very important technique that you use is what is called as power gating. So when your entire circuit, you know that is not going to be operated, you put a set of these sleep transistors or header switch transistors on VDD. So your power gated block does not directly get VDD, it gets a new supply which is virtual VDD or VDDV. Okay. When you know that this particular block is going to be off or not operational, you can simply switch off these PMOSs. You can take sleep to 1. And when you take sleep to 1, what happens? The supply, the VDD supply is cut off. Okay. What it does necessarily require is that at the output, again, you put a gating with sleep bar, so that outputs do not lead to very high currents in the subsequent stages. Because the output, as you cut off the VDD, what happens? The outputs of this block will start to vary between 0 and VDD. Will no longer be at 0 or VDD. They will be anywhere, which can lead to high short circuit currents in the subsequent stages. To prevent that, what do? You put these AND gates out, you isolate the outputs. Okay. Now, it appears that this would reduce leakage. Yes, it will reduce leakage, but you should activate sleep modes only when you're doing it for a sufficient amount of time. Because toggling this sleep pin will in itself is it's a huge capacitance. The sleep would be running all over the place. It is a huge capacitance, and toggling the sleep pin in itself will consume some current. So that should not exceed the current that you are saving. Okay.
So, what is this output? What output I am taking here out from here? I mean, this would be the power gated block would be my PDN or the PD pull up or the pull down network.
So let us say the power gated block only had the NAND gate.
Okay. Okay.
So
Complete
it is the output of the NAND gate that we're talking about.
Okay. The complete gate. Okay.
Okay.
So like we're saying in terms of the complete gate, not like the pull down or the pull up.
I'm talking about a power gated block, which means I'm talking about a full processor.
Okay. Okay.
I'm talking about a full memory there, for example.
Okay.
Okay.
So
that is where we did not say a circuit, we said a block.
Yeah, yes, details.
Okay. There was a question.
So,
Madhur?
yes, sir. So even after I power gated it, I will still some previous stage will still be providing some inputs, right?
Yes, let the inputs come.
So
I am not using the outputs of this block. I
Yes,
anyway
sir.
am not using the outputs of this block. So let the inputs come.
Yes,
If my
sir.
VDD is not connected, it will not lead to any power consumption.
So still gate leakage will still be there because
That much you cannot control. So full memory inputs are just going to 20 gates. There may be 20 inputs in a memory.
Okay, sir. So even in this entire block, only the first stage of this block will be leaking from the gate.
We'll get the
And rest-
inputs. ना बाकी तो सब कुछ के लिए वो float हो जाएगा बीच में.
Okay, yes. Okay, sir.
है ना?
Sir, in this
Yes.
circuit, sir, if we are putting a condition on VDD, then even we are removing our stack effect, right, sir?
We are adding a stack effect. This VDDV is something like VX, is it not?
Yes, sir.
We are adding a stack effect. We will need to size our circuits slightly differently so that this, or we'll have to have a huge capacitance on VDDV so that after power up, when you want to actually operate the circuit, stack effect doesn't appear in the delays.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that this VDDV is almost equal to VDD in active modes.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So what we looked at today was 3 kinds of leakages: static power being governed by subthreshold leakage, gate leakage, and junction leakage. We looked at scaling effects like DIBL, GIDL, and we talked about high-K dielectrics also, that we use high-K dielectrics so that physical gate oxide thickness can be higher and gate leakage can be reduced. And to reduce leakage, we discussed about using high VT, lowering VDD, we already discussed in the last class also, body effect, large length you mentioned, and then we also talked about sleep transistors towards the end. Okay.
So,
Yes.
so I have a doubt in the previous slide.
Okay.
Can you please, yeah. So we are adding this PMOSes to cut off the connection between VDD and the our logic, right?
Yeah.
Now, when these PMOSes are turned off, so there would be some the sub-threshold leakage also in those PMOSes. So
Yes.
should we,
Yeah, that will come. But overall leakage will reduce, no?
for our logic, the leakage will reduce, but that sub-threshold leakage of those PMOSes,
So it is again the same thing, Faisal. Look at it like this. There will be a KCL that will apply.
yes, sir.
So if the power gated block does not allow sinking more current, how will more current go?
नहीं आए. Okay, sir.
है ना?
एक certain limit तक ही होगा वो फिर.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
So yes.
Sir, now after we have looked into all these leakage currents, sir. So now in Cadence, sir, so if we want to measure a leakage current, then we have to first see all these parts, and we have to place a probe appropriately, and we have to finally add all these currents.
Yes, we can do that.
So sir, that becomes a big thing, sir.
So do the big thing. You will have to do much bigger things later.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You can simply probe. What do you mean a big thing? You just need to write 3 more statements to probe the gate, the source, and the drain.
And we have to add those, and we have to give the exact. We have
that
to
also
see.
Happens in Eldo script itself. You can write it in the Eldo script.
Currents are increasing and decreasing exactly.
Yeah, so you can write that in the Eldo script, no?
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
No? So even if it is big thing, you should learn how to do it smartly.
Yes, sir. So this is how we are supposed to do, right, sir? Just one. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So thank you, guys. All the best. Next, we meet on next Wednesday because Friday is a holiday.
Sir, can I ask one more doubt, sir? Last doubt, sir.
Yeah. Why last? You asked 10 more doubts. What's the problem?
Sir, yes, sir. So, sir, at first when we were discussing about this leakage current, sir, so you said that we have seen the example of only leakage of NMOS. Sir, for PMOS, sir, if we consider a normal, even if we consider a 2-input NAND gate or anything, sir, for suppose inverter or 3-input NAND gate or 2-input NAND gate. So I didn't understand how my PMOS is supporting, like how my PMOS is contributing towards my leakage, sir. Because however my output will be at high or low. For suppose if my output is at high, then obviously my PMOS is on. Then that doesn't become any kind of leakage, because that should be a conduction current over there. And if my output is high, in the case where my PMOS is off, then I think we should speak about leakage at this point of time. And if my output is high, then obviously my drain voltage which is present is at high potential. So I don't see any kind of leakage in PMOS.
Yeah.
Sir?
Except the gate leakage. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Gagandeep?
Sir, I was looking into the VD current. So VDD current for power measurement. So it was also a negative waveform was also coming. So how can a negative current go inside the VDD?
So these are all, look at it like this. These are all matrix calculations. Do not imagine a simulator to physically represent your circuit. It is a representation. It's a model. Finally, it is matrix calculations. Those matrix calculations can lead you to situations where you will see that when the current is getting synced into the ground, there is a negative current observed on the some substrate supply somewhere, sometimes on the VDD. All those things you can see.
Sir, that is because we'll be grounding our, in AC analysis, we'll be grounding our
Yes.
VDD position and ground, right, sir? So
Yeah.
obviously that both potential gets shorted and eventually my VDD current gets negative.
You are doing a transient analysis though.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, transient analysis. I mean, yeah.
है ना? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Deepank?
Sir, related to assignment only, if I can ask, sir, if I observe the current in the falling or rising of the output from the supply or at the ground or from the capacitor, and then I calculate power using that without using the formula because I know the supply. So will that be a valid way for dynamic power calculation?
दोबारा से बोलो.
So suppose if I observe the current when the transition happens at output from the supply, so and multiply it with the supply, will that be a valid expression for dynamic power instead of using the formula?
Which formula?
That alpha F
Yeah.
CV.
So that formula is to do the back of the envelope calculations and estimation of power on paper.
Yes. So I can.
Over there, that is the current integration you will do to get the charge. That is how you have to do.
So I was finding average current. That is not right, I think.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So Faisal, Monday is a mid-semester break from what I understand. Am I right?
Yes, sir, that.
So no quiz on Monday.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Now the quiz will be on next Monday. It will cover 3 lectures. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Chali. All the best, guys. See you later.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Thank you, sir.